Hello, people. How you doing today? My name is Lee Cole. I'm here with my partner, James Proctor. James, how are you doing?
Hey, doing good, Lee. How are you today?
Well, we weren't going to do, we already have a show in the bag, but Joey Merlino came on.
Mm,
And so now we're going to do a Joey Merlino show because he really went after some informants, didn't he?
yeah, I mean, yeah, he was naming them by name and talking about you know the the scummy stuff they were doing, and a lot of them were involved in domestic violence and hitting women, and just really some bad characters that the government is using as witnesses.
So do you think it's a national pastime in order for the FBI to say if you want to be an informant, you also have to be a woman abuser?
Well, that's what it seems like, especially as you look through all these names, and I think part of it too is this. When you look at when they're trying to get one person convicted, the FBI is willing to let 10 criminals on the street go, and it just doesn't make sense, especially when we prove over and over again how the people they go after's had less crimes that they're accused of than the ones that are uh,
And we're
testifying against them.
and we're and we're going to show a couple things to show you how bad these people are, what their type of people. First of all, we've done plenty of shows on Gene Borrello. He mentioned Gene Borrello, but he didn't pronounce his name correctly, so I'm guessing that he never really heard of him before.
Yeah.
Now, as you know, Gene came out and hit him pretty hard with some stuff. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do here, this is from Kane Shade's channel. I'm going to show
Okay.
you how this started with Gene and what he said. Okay, one second. So Gene's going along, and instead of Gene just ignoring Merlino, not going after him,
Hmm.
because whether you like Merlino or not, what it comes down to is he is not an informant. So he
Right.
doesn't hide that. So this is done on Kane Show, and here's how he came out and started this.
So fucking midget mafia, Joey Merlino got something to say about it. Joey, you're 4'2". I see you in Tampa, I'll slap you around. Okay, you're the boss of three guys, the Philadelphia Mafia. If you actually be a member in your family, I'd rather be a Latin king. Okay? Get lost, you're an active mob boss on YouTube, you're a fucking clown herb. You fucking Joe fucking midget mafia, Joey Merlino got something to say about it. Joey, you're 4'2". I see you in Tampa, I'll slap you around. Okay, you're the boss of three guys, the Philadelphia Mafia. You actually
Well, I don't want to play that part because we'll get demonetized for that music. But anyway,
Hmm.
he comes out, he hits Joey Merlino out of the blue, and then Dominic Cicali said that he talked to Gene and told Gene not to do that.
Yeah.
Supposedly, Gene took it down,
Hmm.
but Kane Shade has it up. Um,
Okay.
and so today he hit Gene. What did he say about Gene? Because he had all this paperwork in his hand, and I'm guessing
Yeah.
that
So what he was talking about was some of the crimes that he committed, talking about assaults and also some violence against his girlfriend. So that was what he was referring to, and just saying that this guy Gene Borrello is talking about me, but look at his record. Look at what he's been accused of and convicted of, and actually went to prison. And then the other thing was mentioned how his father, I'm sorry, how his mother went to the court and begged the judge, not to sentence him to um, prison.
and a matter of fact, Joey said that Gene probably would have let his mother go to prison for him because he was crying and scared of going to prison. I don't think Gene's scared of going to prison. I just think he didn't want to go at that time.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So he hits him, and it doesn't stop there. I mean,
Hmm.
then he goes on to John Pennisi. Now,
Yes.
John Pennisi mentions him one time, and Joey says, I met him one time.
Hmm.
What did he bring up
Yeah. So what
about
he was,
John
yes.
Pennisi?
Right. So what he was bringing up on John Pennisi again was dealing with violence against women, and yeah, and that's a book that was written that uh, was basically talking about the testimonial of John Pennisi. And also, it's showing his character, what he's been accused of, and so he is accused of hitting a woman, knocking out all of her teeth. And so
Well, let me read that.
Yeah.
Let me read that part. While in prison, Pennisi had many problems. He tried committing suicide because he couldn't deal with prison life. He was very paranoid and a jealous man, too. He required his former girlfriend to answer him on FaceTime, even if she was traveling on the highway or otherwise unable to use her phone at that moment, to ensure that another man was not present with her. He had burned her hair and knocked her teeth out with his fist. Did that ever come to trial? That stuff.
No, for that piece, what had happened was that there was a report that was made on it, and so the author of this book was asking for the dental records, and she didn't respond with the dental records. So later on, they just said, we don't know if it happened or not. You know, the woman did say that this happened to her, got her teeth knocked out. It seemed plausible because, you know, she did have dental work done, but they wanted to have the actual records of that just to, you know, to prove it. So, you know, it's probably 90% true, but it's just they don't have the documents of the dental records.
Okay, then he went after another guy who I'm not really familiar with, so I did some research on him. And what did you find out about this John Rubio?
Yeah, so what I found out about him was that he testified against Merlino back in 2018. This was dealing with a case with Medicare fraud down in Florida, and so the authorities brought him in as one of a number of informants, people that had decided to cooperate. And so this guy gets a sweet deal from the government. And then he goes on to podcasts like he goes to.
I'm gonna play that right here. Did he have any issues with women?
Yeah, I mean, he was another one that had the issues with women, and basically stalking a woman, sending hundreds.
It's amazing though. It's amazing though, because if you line up these informants, I would say 8 out of 10 of them have some type of stalking, abuse, assault charge toward women.
Yeah. I mean, these people, and then they continue to commit crimes, and that's what happened. Even after all of this, he ends up going back to prison for, I don't know, 8 months or whatever. He violated, a lot of, some of his terms of release, including going on to podcasts and saying stuff that he shouldn't have.
Well, he went on John and Jean's podcast, I think in 2020, and he lied to his handler. Yep. He tried to get out of it, and but this is the handler's fault. The handler knew. The handlers always know. We see this all the time in here, even with these guys right now that have probation officers and handlers. They see this stuff. Sometimes they're just too lazy to talk about it.
Right, and I know 2 of them had gotten in trouble with the with their supervisors over him, and so it's definitely there's a lot of fault with the handlers.
Now, so John Rubio is basically a Genovese crime family associate.
Yep.
And he informed on Merlino, and this video right here is a 3-minute video, and I'm using it from American Made's channel, and people go sub to his channel. He puts up good stuff. We don't agree on some things, but he still puts up very good stuff. Yep. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to take a second to remind you, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like what we're doing and want to make a donation, you can do that via Cash App at American Made Channel. Now, let's jump into the video.
I was a Genovese associate. Basically, my whole life since I was 13, I started getting involved. I strayed a little bit, but in the end, I ended up back there, and I ended up cooperating about 9 years ago. It's been about 9 years now. I almost felt like I could be a better criminal because I worked for them, because I knew they weren't watching me. I knew that, I mean, I was committing more crimes when I was working for them than when I was on the street, and they were paying me. They were paying me $15,000 a month, and I was making another $15,000 a month committing.
The feds were paying him $15,000 a month.
Yeah, that's just nuts. I mean, what type of lifestyle are they having to support? That's just nuts.
Yeah, for another 15,000. So he wants to make $30,000 a month. So you're talking. This guy wants to make close to between $250,000 and $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
And he's still out committing crimes. And he's talking about it's easier to commit crimes when you're working with the feds.
Yeah.
Than if you're not working with the feds. That should tell you everything you need to know about this program with these informants. Okay, I'm hoping that starts back up.
Yeah.
Crimes. I mangled the case. I mean, I literally mangled the case. I mean, I deserved more than 2 years. I mean, and that's why they put me in jail. I stood home for 8 months after the case was over, and I was always told, no judge in the world could ever put you in jail after what you've done here for 6 years. But little did I know that I'm lucky I even had an agreement. I mean, it should have been ripped. Like I said, I mean, I mangled that case. I mean, it's that is embarrassing. I mean, I mangled that case. I mean, guys that were supposed to get serious time. Not that I don't want anybody to go to jail, but they had to let them go. I mean, not let them go. They took a felony, but no. I mean, I mangled it. I mean, forget about it. I shouldn't have. I literally shouldn't have had an agreement. It should have been torn. I deleted. You know, I had a phone. So bad what I did. My wife. I had a phone, and I'm home. I'm home where I relocated, and you know, my agent calls me and said, "Listen, you know, mail us the phone." So I don't know. I was just bitter with them. I was always bitter with them. So I said, "Yeah, you know what? I'm going to mail them the phone, but I'm going to factory reset it before I send it." So now, on top of all the other shit I did, I just.
Well, imagine that. The feds don't send an agent to pick up his phone. They did that with Gene Borrello. They actually went and searched his environment and found the phone and took it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're telling him to mail the phone? What the heck? What's going on here?
Yeah, they want the messages. So there's like supposedly a year's worth of conversations or text messages between, you know, Merlino and people associated with Merlino and this guy, Rubio. And so he ends up, like I said, does a factory reset and sends the phone back to the feds. And when they got the phone, weren't too happy.
Okay.
Destroyed evidence. They could have ripped my agreement. That just goes to show everybody how important Joey was to them. That's how important he was to the FBI. They wanted him badly. I mean, they wanted him. This was it. It might have been their last chance. I mean, I don't know. But, you know, and then, you know, there's always little tricks that go on with this cooperating. So now they're trying to get me to get him to go to Patsy and him take me. Because I'm gonna get made in a second with him. I'm giving him so much money. He was sharp. You know, the thing with me is that'll never happen to him again. He's not gonna fall for 3 years or someone because the money. He's greedy. The money.
Okay, people, that's American made, like I said. Okay. Imagine that, an officer that's greedy. I've never heard of that. Have you?
Yeah.
Well, these informants always have excuses of why they're doing things, or people being. Well, anyway, not only that, his show started today. He went 5-0 on his football bets last week. But what's incredible though is the last time I checked his show, he had 16,000. It was a few days ago. He hit 20,000 today.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I mean, our show's growing crazy quick, but not like that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Merlino's, I think he's definitely he's a fresh voice out there. I mean, he's someone that hasn't cooperated. He has a lot of stories from back in when he was in Philly. He talked about, even today, he has an interesting story at the very beginning, talking about the armored car heist where, he got picked up on. And so, it's a great story. And so he comes across very, truthful. He also, when it comes to the informants, what he's doing is he's bringing the documentation. He's going in there to get the documentation. And then also he said, as he goes and talks about his cases, he'll be bringing up all of the documents. And so we're seeing it. He did that today. So, for me, that's a, at least it's something refreshing. We don't see a lot of people from Philly, and he was through a lot, 24 or more attempts on his life.
He's outgrown the New York guys. I mean, his show is going to go past Mikey Scars. It's going to go past Dominic Ciccali. It's already past Dominic Ciccali. I mean, he's one of the first shows to show up here in a long time that's just got this huge spurt going on. I mean, when you pick up 4,000 new subs in, we picked up 1,000 in a week. He's picking up 4 times that many in 1 week.
Yeah, I think he's also got a good formula. So what you see is that he doesn't have 1 hour shows. He's got about a 25-minute show, and it involves he's going to talk about sports. He's also going to talk about just whatever. I think on the last show he had a guy on that he knew that was a chef. He brought him in, and so he's got interesting stuff. And then typically each episode he'll spend 5 to 10 minutes talking about informants. And so he's promising a rat of the month segment and all types of stuff. So I think when you get a formula that people get used to, they're trying to market this thing. I believe the guy that he's with is energetic. I think they have good chemistry together.
And people will say, "Oh, Lee and James, you're talking about this guy again. You're talking about this guy." What is the purpose of our show? Our show is to do what, James?
Well, I mean, it's inform, entertain, bring people information of what's going on out there in this genre. We're going to discuss.
We talk about the people. We talk about the people
real
that are
content.
hot. We're talking about the people that are people are listening to. Why would we talk about somebody with 100 subs? That's not going to help our show grow. That's what we're here
people
for.
don't even know who they are when we do. Especially now, we got so many new people. I mean, 80% of the comment, I don't even know who the folks are. They're new, and so they don't know if you bring up, these shows that no one's heard of. I mean, people within this genre, it's been around for 2 years. Yeah, they may know of some of the shows with people with a couple of hundred, a couple of thousand subs, but most people aren't going to know anything about it. They want to know about Joey Merlino. They want to know about Sammy Gravano. They want to know about all those guys.
James, I'll give you an example here. When I first started my show, it was John A-Light. He was the hot thing at that time. It was 2.5 years ago. And you move to who's hot. Yeah. And right now you have 4 shows that people are watching. And I'm not going to name those 4, but we know who they are. And Joey is one of them. Sammy is definitely one of that. Michael Franzese is another one. And Mikey Scars. Those are the ones that people seem to have the most. And Dominic Ciccali, I would put in 5th. So those people right there, people are watching those shows. So you know what? If people don't like who we listen to, who we're talking about, I don't know what to say, but we're going to keep going and talking about the person that people want to hear about. And we did a research and we pulled up some stuff and we did it purposely so you would know who Joey Merlino's talking about if you weren't aware of who he's talking about.
Yeah, I think that's definitely good. I mean, I think that that we try to bring some insights on it. But look at any media, look at any sort of print media, any sort of entertainment. You always want to provide stuff that people are interested in, and so we're in a niche that, you know, those are the topics, and so we're going to provide you know, shows and commentary and hopefully some entertainment around that. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah. And it's like when I went to see Sammy, people said, "Oh yeah, how did that's stupid? You want to see?" And you got so many people complaining that I was harassing him, and poor little Sammy, sweet little innocent Sammy, the good old man, the evil bastard. But anyway, people, it got us 600,000 new views in 1 month.
Yeah, it did.
It got us 2,000 new subs in 1 month. So I think that instead of people worrying about what we're doing on our show, work on your show, build your show, then worry about our show. And we're going to keep talking about the interesting shows like Joey Merlino, Mikey Scars, Dominic Cicali, Francis, and Gravano. That's who we're going to talk about. And some of them are rats. Matter of fact, the only one that's not a rat is Joey Merlino, which is a rarity.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, we try to, and we'll sprinkle in stuff that's you know, of mob history or people that's not as well known. But you know, we can't do that with every show, so we'll sprinkle it in. But we also know, you know, we'll see it. We'll see a show that's gets 10,000 views, like the Gene Borrello one a few days ago. You know, 10,000 in a couple of days, and then we could do something on, you know, who knows, and it's just a couple of thousand. And so, you know, we have to provide content that our viewers are interested in watching, you know, or they'll not come around. They'll go somewhere else.
Well, people like to say, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the reminder bell. Excuse me. Hit the reminder bell. And if you want to donate to the show, you're more than welcome to do so. If not, no problem. And also, please join Angel Gotti's My Father's Daughter, the Patreon page. James, myself, Angel, and Marla are involved in that show. And we're putting something up there every few days. And also, we're going to be dropping all our documents, and this is all being worked on right now, on the GravanoCrimeFamily.com or RealMobContent.com. All our documents, all our research is going to be going there, so you can start seeing the documents yourself. And all I do is ask you to give us a couple weeks to get all that together. James, anything you'd like to say before we leave?
The only thing, you know, we're going to have a Patreon only live tomorrow, right? With Angel and
yes.
So anyone interested in that, you know, you can believe you could still join for free for the first week. And so you could try it out.
First week's free on Patreon, and it's up to you whether you want to stay on Patreon. And you know, but anyway, thank you, James. Thank you. And
thanks a lot.
Yep. And Mikey, I'm sorry, Joey Merlino. Thank you for a very entertaining show today, and that's why we're talking about it. We already had another show we were going to put up, but we said, no, we're going to do this one instead. We'll put that one up tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah.
But 2 shows in 1 day, not bad for a couple older guys, huh?
No, it's not. So we've got more coming on soon.
You take care, my man.
All right, take care. Thanks.
Thank you, people.